Hello, welcome to a very chill, supporters-only young CGB video. So, as many of you probably know, I canceled the Young CGB series for the primary YouTube. Most of that, and I can be honest here, because you're the CGB supporters, you're the CGB fan club, you're the army, we're the family, the CGB family. So I can tell you all the real stuff. The number one problem going on with the Young CGB account was that free-to-play was getting to a point where it was hard to make entertaining videos. There was a lot of CGB getting smashed by paid, decks that were more crafted, and that's not very fun to watch, not to the general YouTube public. It also gets me a little salty, which isn't the way that I want the channel to appear. But as far as supporters-only videos, I don't want to give up playing the Young CGB account, so I may as well record it and make it for the fans. Those of you willing to support me on Twitch, on Patreon, if you want to watch this, you can. Maybe you'll enjoy it. I will tell you right now, I'm not going to put as much pressure on myself to make it entertaining. I might get smashed a lot. I might even get salty. You'll get to see the side of me that gets a little spicy probably, but if you want to watch it, go ahead. If you don't want to, if it's not your thing, you don't have to watch it. It's not a big deal. You can miss it. It's okay. But I know that some of you really like it. Okay, if I have to make supporter content, and when I say have to, I want to give extra to the people who support me, and if I'm going to make that content, I'm gonna just try to be really chill about it, and doing this with the free-to-play account seems to make sense because it's getting very challenging to make it entertaining to the community at large. Okay, so that's what's up. I hope that you enjoy this, and let me go see what we're doing today. Quest reroll, it's 500. Let's see if we can do better. And it's 500, but I have to kill creatures and play lands. That sounds like my blue-black deck to a T. Let's go have a look at it really quick. Oh, I missed crafting day, so we gotta do some crafting right now, but this is still the list. Fungal infection and deadweight, stroke, essence scatter, cast down, bloodfast, discovery dispersal, thought erasure. Yeah, it's just a collection of blue and black cards that can win games when given the opportunity and enough support. We're still on some guild gates and boneyards, so I'll probably craft some watered graves, keep working on my blue-black. I'll also warn you, this is probably going to be a lot of me playing blue tempo and Demir and not messing around with other decks too often. Just giving you a heads up on that. Again, the challenges of making it entertaining were a big reason to stop making the series public. Alright, let's go hit the store, and let's pick up some packs for our 7,000 gold. And let's see what we get this week. Ooh, I get to open 10x. Still, I only have 10, and I do need to pay attention to my commons and uncommons. Veil Sprite Guild Summit. Hey, wild card. Doesn't get better than that. Pellet Collector's okay. Find Broker's probably better. There's some wild cards and a Loxodon. That white deck gets stronger. And a Temple Guardian, that green-white deck gets stronger and stronger. Beast Whisperer. Maybe there's an elf thing in my future. The Busted Healer's Hawk was there too. Omnispell Adept. Still something nobody's made me play, thankfully, but something that I haven't seen other people play either. Citywide Bust. Mausoleum Secrets. Another card that hasn't done anything. I think people gave up on it. Erasure, an Electro, a Menagerie. I think that's my 4th Menagerie. No kidding. Sabotage, Crackling Drake, there's some good cards. And a Ritual of Soot. Ooh, that may make a lot of sense for the deck. Alright, let's get in there. Any changes? What am I running? I have 3 Ritual of Soots already. I could go number 4. It's actually not a terrible idea considering the format. It's been aggressive, and I think it's only getting more aggressive based on the Pro Tour results. The top 8 announced today. Lots of white aggro stuff. And I do mean lots of it. Now comes the fun part where you watch me try to remember what I just opened. Pure entertainment, I'm sure. Well, a third Sabotage is an option. I guess I'm not too glutted in the 3s. I can take out the Disdainful Stroke and go up to a third Sabotage pretty happily, joyfully. I'm still not an Insight player when I have Campaign. I'm trying to rely on Campaign, Discovery Dispersal, Thought Erasure to do the job. And I'm also still running Thief of Sanity, even though I think in the meta it's pretty weak. The card gets smashed. Just gets smashed by anything that black decks, or I'm sorry, red decks want to do. It's a joke, and there's so many of them. And then other decks are too aggressive. I might try a Blood Operative. I saw this as a one-of in one of the Pro Tour decks, and I'm curious. As I haven't often been impressed by a Blood Operative, but maybe a one-of is fair. We do have a third Thief and a fourth Thought Erasure that we could be playing. It's hard to resist the Thought Erasure, but I'm more about cutting Thief than I am about playing more of it. It is a pretty fun card. I'll look over the deck again in a minute. Hostage Taker. There was a version with 4 Hostage Takers and Dive Downs at the PT as well. That's pretty amazing. We're on 4 Ritual of Soots, remember, so it might make a lot of sense to cut Thief of Sandy at this point, as much as some of you may hate that idea. We're also on 0 Planeswalkers. I wonder if just running the Immortal Sun is all that bad of an idea. Probably not. So if we cut those, probably trim some of the counter magic down. It doesn't seem to be all that important. And maybe the Bloodfast can go. Although Bloodfast has saved me a lot against mono red with the life gain side. It's hard to cut something that's done so well for you. We're on 26 lands. Maybe I can cut land because of the amount of surveil I'm doing, but honestly no. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Wonder if I can go to 1 fungal infection, but the deck, things have been too aggressive. I feel really bad cutting these cards. Like, it scares me. So what are the plays? Like, we want to open with Thought Erasure or Discovery Dispersal, then we want to use Disinformation Campaign or make a counterspell, then play Ritual of Soot. So what doesn't fit in that plan, really? Some of the cheap removal spells seem like they can be cut if we're running all 4 Ritual of Soot. Surely, right? But which ones? Also up here on top, do I really want the Immortal Sun? I know, fascinating content as CGB stares at his deck intensely. I think I'll trim the dead weight. It is important, though, to keep having... You know what? It's going to be important to keep having removal for the Adanto Vanguard. Especially after the Pro Tour weekend. There's going to be so much of that card. So we've got a lot of ways to kill little people. That means cast down should probably stay. But I don't think anybody's playing Bloodfast anymore. Wonder if we can just go without that. Like I said, I'm probably gonna miss it, but seems like it's worth a try. Same could probably be said for his Kanta, to be honest. But I like having it in there. Just feels like a safety valve on a stormy sea. Alright. Well, Hostage Taker, I don't think you're going to make it. I do want to try the Immortal Sun, but I don't think you're going to get there. The version that played Hostage Taker had Dive Down, which this version doesn't. How's our wildcards looking? 3 rares, no mythics. Alright. Well, let's take care of some business. I know I'm going to play the deck a lot. I want the mana base to be much smoother. Something like this. Alrighty. Spending on the mana base. You might say that feels bad, but I feel okay with it. I don't think the commons or uncommons are needed anytime soon. Alright, let's go kill some things. Yep, you probably won't see me take on any more Boros quests. You probably won't see me play any mono red decks. This will probably be, well, the CGB, the true CGB, the real CGB, just trying to control and grind. Because I don't get sick of playing black and blue decks very quickly. Or white decks for that matter. In fact, my next mythic, maybe it'll be time to get to Fairy and work on Esper. Although 3 colors just sounds crazy. With all the trouble I'm having doing 2. What would I need? I'd need 4 Glacial Fortress and 4 Isolated Chapel. Okay, 3 Glacial Fortress and 3 Isolated Chapel. Now we can graveyard that. We have another one, and I'm not sure what our opponent's really up to, but happy to have this campaign. I'll probably learn more about our opponent right now. Unless, of course, they discard another Mountain Clarion. Maybe it is a Jeskai control. It is a Mana Screw deck, whatever it is. Library. Sounds lovely. Let's do some thought erasing. This is the part where you just get cruel. A scoop of shame. Oh yeah, we're getting back to silver. It's happening. So I've started doing editing on my other videos, which is quite a bit more time and work, but especially since I'm not very good at it. But these videos will probably they'll be raw cuts, much like the channel's roots. I'm very interested in continuing to grow the YouTube audience, so I'm going to feature more and more popular decks and try to upload more content and maybe some tips and tricks videos, but here for the supporters. I see no reason not to keep supplying some free-to-play collection stuff. I think it should be fun, and some of you may really enjoy it. Watery Grave makes its first appearance. Alright. It's really tempting to just try to say go and build up to a campaign. What are we up against? Drakes? Well, I guess this is the best way to get information, so I shouldn't hold it back. Gutter Snipe, Fight with Fire, Beacon Bolt, and Rahl. Well, if I make sure I have a negate ready for Rahl, I'll be fine, but Gutter Snipe gets eaten by the Ritual of Soot, and not much else does, so I'm thinking that the Rahl's the powerful card I have to worry about, while Gutter Snipe is a card I can ignore for a little while. So that's what we'll do. More land drops don't bother me right now. We would love to curve out completely. Happy to see no counter magic there. Means that Disinformation Campaign may run amok on my opponent. And allowing some gutter snipe damage doesn't seem too bad if we're getting ahead in the meantime. There's always the chance my opponent will draw another cheap creature and play it. They'll draw a second gutter snipe and be like, oh yes, how could I not? A discovery, and I have another discovery. I also have Ritual Soot to take the snipe out, but I think I'll dig. I may find a deadweight. It should be a more mana efficient way to do the job. I don't need all this land. I think going to having 5 lands available, I can count on drawing the 6th. Like that. Okay. I'll leave up a negate because there's always a chance our opponent will have another Rawl off the top. And then next turn we can campaign and keep leaving up negate for any disaster. Enigma Drake is just the kind of card I'd love to use Ritual Soot against. It's a 1/4 and a 2/2. So do we go another round with the campaign, or do we Soot now? Well, I think playing around Syncopate and getting Soot done is pretty wise, but I could Soot with negate next turn. And I don't think my opponent can do that much damage to me in one turn. I know. Words like that have been said before, and people have been surprised. Alright, from here, I think the plan is to keep negate open for anything weird my opponent might draw. And if something weird is drawn, we counter it and then Ritual Soot. And if nothing weird is drawn, we Ritual Soot with negate available. It's the patient control game. It's not for everybody, but it's right up my alley. If you can save your sweeper till a moment where you can also have counterspell protection open afterwards, it's a good move. Not to mention that other gutter snipe did come along, and the patience was paid off big time. Alright, the opponent has passed the turn. If we play an untapped land, we'll have 5 lands. And then we can Discovery and Disinformation campaign and have negate. Sounds great. Alright, these can go. We will get the option to return the Blood Operative right now. You can surveil it and get the trigger. I can take out the Beacon Bolt with it, which is pretty good. Going to 10 is a little scary, but if it hits, the life comes right back. So we'll take the action. But I think I should continue to attack their hand. So I'll use Disinformation campaign to work on them a little bit more before we play the operative. An unceremonious beginning for those rare wild cards as we discard our Watery Grave. Welcome to the deck. You were useless. Go away. Alright, the mountains continue, with Fight with Fire being our opponent's great hope. It won't pay off. 8 mana. We have Blood Operative, we could Thought Erasure as well, and take that Fight with Fire, then play the operative, and have Counter Magic. Seems very good. I wonder if that's good enough to trigger my opponent's concession button. Or if they are just that stubborn. There's the Beacon Bolt getting exiled. And I'll pass turn. Might as well leave Counter Magic up for whatever my opponent draws for the rest of the game. And a Gutter Snipe can be Essence Scattered. Another Ritual Soot off the top doesn't change anything right now. Blood Operative's life gain signifies the end has come. Although I could just slam the Dream Eater, get that cooking, or I could use Campaign to keep getting ahead in value. I think we'll work on ending the game. Just put out a Dream Eater here. Now that we've seen that our opponent has no plays, it doesn't matter if we wait until end of turn to use our Dream Eater. We can play it now. Okay, we got some land, which we don't really need anymore. And I'll take Doom Whisperer, Sabotage Doom Whisperer. Seems like that's unbeatable. Redeploy. Tickles animation. Plenty of damage. Here's Gutter Snipe. The fourth one, by the way. The 4 Gutter Snipe draw doesn't do it. Brilliant Dan has been defeated by a different Dan, young CGB Dan. We have enough to enter an event now if we really want to. I guess that does help the grind a bit. Still, I'm happy right now with the ladder play. I'm not really. The thing about doing events, I also don't know if I want to do them that often on this channel. The meta becomes really predictable. I'm curious how we can do on ladder if we just stick to ladder play. Seems like as soon as you enter those events, you just have to fight through the sea of red. The sea of red, my friends. Matchmaking algorithm hasn't been too cruel to us here, so why not continue? There's something to be said for playing Operative and then using Surveil to get it back, but I really do need to hit my land drops, and right now this won't be countered, unless, of course, there's that. Oops. Oopsie daisy. If I play this out, it's likely that a Merfolk Trickster comes down, then our opponent resolves a Tempest Shin, probably? I feel like I should just try to keep creatures off the battlefield to the best of my ability, even if they might resolve the Jin. I think that one of the things you can compete with this deck on, this stupid mono blue deck, is... Okay, there we go. Is if you can keep all their creatures off the battlefield forever and ever, then they don't have anything to enchant. You can run them out of bodies, or just leave them with bad bodies like Exclusion Mage. And that turned out to work out well, as our opponent couldn't bear either missing a land drop or seeing their Trickster die. Traumatic events. Silver, we has returned. Did you know that Alex is hardcore? Or X-core? I didn't know. But apparently it's been announced via via your arena handle. Black and blue, erasing you. More Spell Pierce? Are we really doing this again? Okay. That's kind of weird. I wouldn't opt here. There's, like, what do you do if you find a good card that I would definitely erase? I would save the opt, but people do what they do. So we can take the Electromancer, then take the Drake. I think those are the best ways to do this. Search for his Kanta. It's not a removal spell, but it could really help in this game. Let's see. Well, next turn we're going to take the Drake. The turn after that, maybe we are... I don't know when I play this card that is the problem. You know, I don't think I need it. I think I need to make sure I have a removal spell. I think if we have enough ways to kill the opponent's stuff, we'll be good. But I think we fall behind if they resolve something that we can't kill. And search for his Kanta, it's going to be a while before it can help with that. Alright, erase again, because we will not let that Drake come down. another Drake. Scary. This one better than the other one. Well, I give myself another turn to draw another Thought Erasure. Yeah, I guess we will. And it's another discovery. Card does dig into the deck and works well with, yeah, I think I can keep that. I think it's more appropriate quick digging than the Azcanta is. It gets us deeper. Find us our cast down, our Rituals of, well, I guess Ritual of Soot now is no good against this Drake. I need an Essence Scatter. I need cast down or Essence Scatter. Or another Thought Erasure. Either way, let's see what happens. Thought Erasure is there, so is a counter spell. I think those are both really great to keep here. Wow, absolutely decimating the Drake player. How much Thought Erasing can one Drake player take? Let's see how radical their ideas get. That's gonna be one of those games. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. We could bounce it, but that's not my plan. Okay, these are great. We can't cast the Contempt this turn, but we can draw the Essence Scatter and prevent anything else from resolving for a few turns, which means we're going to hold the campaign for quite a while. The campaign is on hold, my friends. We can't let the opponent get more creatures down. Of course, if they find Arclight, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. But they have drawn perfectly to get out of our Thought Erasure draw. I mean, we nailed 3 straight creatures and they found a 4th right off the top. It's gross. That's what it is. It's very gross. Waiting. So is a Sinister Sabotage here worth 3 life? I don't think so. It's going to sting. But life total is a resource, right? We'll say go. See if our opponent tries to play another Drake. I'm not sure that they have their Arclight Phenai. Perhaps the Mythic wildcards are too much for them because the rest of the deck is close to budget. Another Lightning Strike, okay. They are feeling frisky. Sure. So with the opponent tapped out, maybe they'll go for Velocity, so we'll let that resolve. Okay. I couldn't remember if they already played a land or not. I wish lands were in like a summoning 6 zone. Alright. 4th Erasure. Drake. Nah, that can stay. But you know what? No. Just get rid of as many creatures as possible. That's the plan. Do I go for the campaign? What are the odds they'll just rip one off the top? Well, if they do, I have a Contempt. Let's go for the campaign. And they have a Maximized Velocity. That's right. How much damage does that do at this point? A lot. If they do draw it, then I signed my own death warrant. Ta-da! I guess I won't risk my opponent playing a negate or a dive down. Sometimes you gotta play those instants at sorcery speed for good reasons. do you think? How many more? 3 Enigma Drakes, 2 Crackling Drakes down? And with having to spend our Contempts on them, I am very nervous that if there is an Arclight Phoenix, we won't have any game against it. Alright, keep it coming. Sure. Interesting that they would play that only to see the card they would draw discarded. It seems like discarding the Radical Idea saves you the option for later, but they seem to be pretty hyper about their card drawing options. They all run out sometime. And if you do have Phoenix, you sort of want to have spells available when you draw it. Interesting. What does that mean? Lightning Strike? Well, I'd love to be more patient, but I don't know that I can be. My opponent would discard most things to this Radical Idea, so when they hold it, what does that mean? I don't trust them. Doesn't feel right. Does feel like a lightning strike, but we'll see. Unless they just want to Radical Idea on end step instead for some reason, and it is a land. What if I go after this and just say no? Cut off their card draw, finally cut it down to 1 card a turn, get disinformation campaigns back. That doesn't seem terrible. Land is welcome at this point, so we get more options every turn. And unless it's Niv Mizzet, we have a counter, so we don't have to worry about the velocity too much. They thinking? What are they thinking about? Oh my. Well, I got max punished there, didn't I? For using that sabotage. I don't think it could have gone worse. Oh my goodness. Well, I haven't seen Expansion Explosion out of these decks. That is a new one to me. Let's attack this hand a little bit, but I'm not going to take down Essence Scatter in the face of a maximized velocity. And so my opponent knows I have a counterspell because they know I have a campaign that I'd play if I did not have one. Now we'll see just how many creatures my opponent drew. Okay, if you decline, they draw 3. Sure. Knock yourself out. Although I'm a lot more nervous about it now that I know that they play some go big stuff like Expansion Explosion, but that we don't have to put up with. $20 cards left, Jesus. One Crackling Drake left. 1 Enigma Drake left. Disinfo. Fungal Infection doesn't do anything for this matchup, I'm afraid. Let's bring out Big Doom. If I lose this one, it's definitely on me. I should have played even more patient than I did. All that card draw got so obnoxious that I snapped on a radical idea, and they off the top peeled the perfect card. It's exactly what I deserve. Staring match commence. I don't doubt that they could have Drake Velocity, but do they have a way to remove the Doom Whisperer is the real question. They also may have another Lightning Strike, which means I shouldn't use my Doom Whisperer. Let's see if we can draw into a... Okay, Dream Eater is a way to surveil without that. Let's attack. My opponent doesn't seem to play counter magic, but they've surprised me with a few cards. We do have to start working on ending this game. Okay, the opponent takes it on the chin. You gotta believe if they had more lightning bolts or something of that nature, they would have played them. And now they're in super decision mode. How many strikes have they played? 3. There's probably still 1 strike to go. No shocks. Doesn't mean they don't play any, but having seen none here is interesting, and it seems like there should be many more charter courses along the way. What did they discard? Another Velocity? Yes. Decline. Have your cards. Yeah, that's fun. If they go for maximized velocity on the Electromancer, that's annoying, but nothing I can't work against. I would love to not have to kill the Electromancer here. I can use Fungal Infection on it and block it, and if the opponent does something about the insect, I'll play the Dream Eater, but I don't want to try to risk the Dream Eater in front of the Electromancer. I'd love to draw out my opponent's spells even more. 14 cards left in their deck. Ooh, ah. How big are these drakes? 16-4. They don't even go for maximized velocity. That's interesting. Well, let's launch our Dream Eater. They syncopate from the opponent for 3. How fun. So they do run counters on top of all the other craziness in this pile. You've got to believe that they have another Lightning Strike. So I need to do my best to avoid going to 3, which means I can't use my Doom Whisperer, which is very annoying. In fact, I probably shouldn't attack with my Doom Whisperer. The odds of a Drake getting Velocity'd are a bit great. End step effects, more insight. Okay. Yep, this is gonna get real. Perhaps I should have ritualed away the Electromancer. It's not like I'm losing a lot this way. No, that's game. Yeah, I played that very badly. Ugh, back to earth. We were riding so high. But, live and learn. Be more patient. It's amazing how it can come and go from game to game if you're not in the moment. Don't sabotage radical idea. And what's up? Well, no blue mana. Despite adding the lands to our deck, we get... See, this is one of those where I'd love to see the other hand, the one that they're not showing us. In case you don't know, the Arena algorithm draws you 2 hands and then picks the one they think you'll like the best based on their algorithms. I would love to see the other hand when they feed me one of those, well, here's 3 lands, but they don't line up quite right hands. Let's get in here and see what's cooking. Oh my. Sworn Companions, Divine Visitation, and Tajik. I guess I gotta take the Tajik. It does the most damage the quickest, I should say. And I'll bin this other land because I've seen enough of those now. Our opponent rips the land like a boss, like an absolute champion of Magic the Gathering. Would and should. Let's prepare for the next wave of tokens. This Doom Whisper is going to be useless for a long time until we get all these Justice Strikes discarded. Our opponent also rips Legion Warboss like a champion. A true champion of Magic the Gathering. Do I keep you? I mean, you're a good draw, but you're also not what we need right now. Not until later in the game are you that good of a draw. I need Ritual. I need it really bad. Let's work on that hand. Okay, Fungal Infection's alright. It will buy time. Huzzah! Alright. So our goal is to keep 3 creatures from attacking at the same time. Let's see if our opponent's willing to Justice Strike a 1/1. I'm not killing the Marshal. I'm not that worried about it spawning things. I'm worried about my life total. Because once I play Doom Whisperer, if I have enough life, I can surveil my way into a Ritual of Soot, in theory, if they're not all on the bottom. My opponent has Justice Strike mana open right frickin' now. Let's play as Kanta instead. And represent counter magic. Perhaps they'll play around it. I want them to use mana on their turn to kill the Doom Whisperer, not on my turn. They might make another 1/1, but like I said, if we surveil our way to a Ritual of the Soot, it doesn't matter. It's a good card. Is it good right now? 5 cards. Against a token deck, it's rarely that good, but as far as cards I can take off the top of my library, they don't get a lot better. So I'll take it. Let's play Doom Whisperer, even though very destined to die. Play tap land, say go. We'll definitely make sure we surveil and set up our Azcanta to flip if we want it to. And we're looking for Ritual of Soot. That is not it. We can go here, so can Cast Down. We can dig pretty darn deep. I'm going to decline to pay 3 life. I have no interest in that anytime soon. Those can go. Getting a little scary now. I suppose another Doom Whisperer will have to do, but I'm not happy. Actually, this won't do either. Rough. It's rough play these days. Alright, so I get to search. I definitely have to search. I guess I might come up with a deadweight, so I should do it now. Okay, deadweight it is. Now we'll try to figure out how to live. Because apparently, with 4 Rituals of Soot, they won't be in the top half of this deck. We're going to do it the hard way. Fungal Infection's a good one, though. I think I'll keep the mana up, use Fungal Infection, and search for Azcanta. It also keeps Negate open in case of a Lightning Strike. Yep. Fungal infection. Staying alive, staying alive. More than half the deck now. Do we go for discovery? And still try to come up with a ritual? Let's view this battlefield. We're not dead. Vraska's Contempt lives another turn no matter what. Perhaps having a counterspell if they draw another creature is wise. Okay. Alright. Fourth mana. There's a War Leader. Sinister Sabotage. Ritual of Soot is here. Here comes the attack. And of course, net 1 life. Down to 2. Right back where we started, but now we get to nuke them. And do we campaign or do we play around the lightning strike? We haven't seen a lightning strike. If our opponent resolves another creature, we have contempt and we can play around it some more. Yeah, we'll pass. We'll keep playing around a burn spell. Okay, should I negate this? I believe I should. We'll have to find another way to play around a lightning strike. That won't do it. But let's drop a campaign on them. Alright. Shut down those planeswalkers. Divine Visitation, gone. History of Benalia, fun. So, do we contempt it now, or do we search for Azcanta? I think we'll search. There's lots of cheaper ways to deal with things. So that's where you've been hiding. Alright, let's keep attacking the hand and use Vraska's Contempt on the knight. Another visitation. Right. Let's knock that out. Who knows, they might have a raid card. Let's do it before they can attack with a thing. Chance for Glory is game. That is a good one. I feel like an idiot. Oh wait, that's Exile. And we get 2 life. They have to kill us this turn. Oh, that goes off. It all works. Bravo. Bravo. Chance for Glory. Well, glory has been had. I think we might have learned something about how much I can pay for my Doom Whisperer. Although that said, I don't feel like I binned any cards that would help me. I feel like you have to get through that stack of cards somehow. I guess I have to go back and look and see if I binned anything where it's like, well, if I kept that instead, I would have had this much more life and I could have won the game. Fountain of Renewal is going to start this party. And perhaps we are in a mirror type situation. Let's see what you have. They have their own Blood Operative. This can't be cast yet. Sinister Sabotage is annoying, and they would have it up next turn for the Disinformation campaign. And they have Planeswalker Karn, but we do have the Immortal Sun. Still, I'd rather have the Vraska's Contempt. The question is, will I draw the land in time? I'm going to bank on drawing the land. Alright, they did not draw Black Source. They could play the Blood Operative. Just feels a little don't love that idea. We know that Karn's coming down, so it's up to us to top deck a land here. That said, Karn can go for a few minutes, do his thing. You can have another Fountain of Renewal. I'll make you get your lands the hard way. Oof. Brutal. So now the best way to dig for a land is Discovery Dispersal. The problem with that is it's basically my whole turn. If there's a land on top, Disinformation Campaign can find it. But I suppose the safest thing to do is to make absolutely sure that we can get rid of Karn by next turn, before our opponent can set up a counter shield of some kind. And 2 lands is fine. I'll draw the Boneyard and play it tapped, and then we'll draw the other land next turn and keep moving up the chain. So what are you doing, Karn? What's the plan? What's the plan, Bionic Man? It's going to be a good draw in this matchup. I wonder if that's reason enough for my opponent to make a token. Yeah, they decide it is.
There is great power in the things we make.
Time to beat me down. I get what they're going for. So it might be safer to play a Ritual of Soot here than to play a Vraska's Contempt. Now Karn will just make another creature. We can Ritual Soot that too. The problem is if they find another counter spell like a Sinister Sabotage and we can't resolve Ritual Soot and we get attacked for consecutive turns. That's the danger. And this is a land. So they're unlikely to minus. So Karn's most likely to either make another creature, which we can kill. It's a pretty tough spot, to be honest. We're definitely playing this or this. The question is, which one do you play? And I don't really want to pay 6 to take this, to play this, so let's use the Ritual. I think that a quick way that we might lose the game completely would be in that manner. If Karn makes one more dork, then we can go after Karn a little bit. Nope, going up. There we go. Well, you get this island. So we know their hand. Well, we know half their hand. There's still one card we don't understand, and I hope it's not a counter spell. What an interesting little Sultai Fountain of Renewal treasure map Karn pile we have going on. And I wonder what the Surveil. There's Sabotage for sure, but there's probably also Thought Erasure. There's a lot of thinking here. The last card is not a counterspell, or I think they would have simply passed the turn. Alright. Other Karn. They don't want to lose it to Disinformation Campaign. Makes sense. Alright. Did they pick the right one? They picked the wrong Karn, I think. They did. Oh. Feels bad. So now it's up to their treasure map. Bottom. Draw without scrying. So an unscried draw becomes a discovery. With Karn on top. They'll get their blood operative back, I'm certain. They have plenty of life to do it. And they kept both. So they like their cards with the discovery. So we have relevant threats coming at us. If we get an opportunity to discard one, we should. Probably take the Immortal Sun, right? You have to. Everything else is a bit good. But the Immortal Sun shuts down your card plan. And that's the best thing our Immortal Sun has done so far. They do know the top card of their deck, so they're not getting much value off this Surveil or this Scry, which I suppose that's good. Any reason to hold that? Well, they can't cast it because they tap too much mana. That's a good reason. So let's make them discard it. And then we can use Blood Operative to exile it from the graveyard so they don't get it back again. And now it's that treasure map's job to turn this whole game around. They keep it on top, something they wanted. They did set it up with Surveil a little while ago, and they set it to follow a Thought Erasure. So, is it another threat? They know about the Vraska's Contempt. Okay, they set up a second Thought Erasure. Do they keep their top card? They do. A string of things they like. Wonder if I should save that. Of course, it might hit a Sinister Sabotage if our opponent just decides to keep those in hand. Whereas right now it could draw a card. Seems wise. Ouch. Our opponent knows about this island, so we'll play it instead of the swamp that they don't know anything about. I think my opponent's in a better position than I am. They're going to at least draw 2 cards a turn for a little while. They've had some luck with the top of their deck. They've been surveilling and scrying and keeping, which means a lot of the cards are what they want. That is most surely what they drew here in an unscried draw because they put that on the bottom. So this is something they wanted. And I think a counterspell is an easy pick. I wonder if they play Disinformation Campaign as well. They also are not cashing those Fountain of Renewals. I'd be aggressively getting more cards in my hand, but they seem to value the life quite a bit. Okay. I wouldn't miss this graveyard much. It's an interesting thing to pick. And all it's doing right now is blowing up my operative and exiling it, which, okay, I'll live. I'll hold this. I don't think I need it right now. The opponent may play Disinformation Campaigns of their own. It would be nice to draw a Surveil card and get that back, as opposed to the Flood. Alright, treasure map's used up, and they drew at least 2 lands, and probably a Phyrexian Scriptures. I still expect their card to be a counter spell. I suppose it did deal with the Blood Operative, so a 1-for-1 Scriptures is probably as good as you can expect in this particular matchup. Alright, we draw a Thought Erasure. This resolving would be very good. However, I don't think it will, is the problem. But since our opponent plays their own Thought Erasures, the idea of keeping it and waiting to do something else with it doesn't seem great. So, I'm going to take a chance that they're keeping an Essence Scatter or a Disdainful Stroke, and not a Sinister Sabotage. Okay. They really like their Scriptures that much. Well, it's better than the Moment of Craving for them. And I can bin this gladly. So it's a Phyrexian Scriptures, Karn, Fountain of Renewal treasure map pile of nonsense. And our Flood is extreme. We've entered Extreme Flood Station. Come on, Surveil card. Okay, it's a Surveil card, and it's a big one, but it will have to wait till next turn. And now we're drawing cards with fountains. Finally, the desperation has kicked in. Yep, more nonsense. Let's try this. Our opponent might play Syncopate, which is a good enough reason here. Alright. So I could play these now and draw some cards, or I could hold up the Dream Eater. And based on Phyrexian Scriptures, well, this can bounce a Scriptures. Just deciding whether or not to do this on my turn, and I think I will. Let's get some more cards flowing. Don't need you, but you look helpful. Actually, I should pay more life to get a negate in my hand or another counter spell, but perhaps I'll have to pay the price for that. Let's keep going. All right, now the desperation will certainly feel kicked in. From 26 life, scoop. All right. It should be a decent lock. I don't blame them too much. I can use Doom Whisper to try to make sure I draw a counterspell every turn for the rest of the game. Alright, quest complete. We just went over an hour. I still have a kill 15, but it can wait. We also have a 1-card... Let's see. We have a top 5 reward. Isn't that usually a rare? I think it is. Maybe I do have to do one more. odd hand. No card advantage, but ways to deal with all kinds of things. I'll keep it. We're going to have to draw into our campaigns, thought erasures, things like that. And blessed land, please. Black-red. Doomed Dissenter. I don't know what to think. I'm confused. I don't want to fungally infect it. I don't want to cast it down, and I don't want to negate it. What nonsense is this? Let's have a look around. Yeah, great. Knew you'd come. Black-red can't really interact with it unless they somehow make me discard it with duress. And negate's ready for that job. Now you have to also make sure I draw many surveil cards along the path. Alright. My opponent must have a lot of ways to kill creatures in hand, which is the specialty of the disinformation campaign. Make them discard all those things, then we'll play our creatures. Plague Mare. But my oh my, the land, the flood, we are in true flood territory for sure. We have 5 spells, and is that 9 land? Yeah. We got it rough. Fortunately, our opponent isn't doing anything. They're being real sports about the situation. And there's Search for Azcanta to hopefully pull us out of this mess. Still one of my favorite cards. Search for Azcanta. When I saw it, I knew I'd be flipping them a lot. Yep, do not need another one. And, okay, now we're drawing some spells. I could always Vraska's Contempt the Doomed Dissenter, but how would I live with myself, really? Still, nothing else is happening. And with a negate in hand, I don't know how another thing that I need to Vraska's Contempt would ever show up. Opponent's going to use Vicious Offering on their own creature, so they have a 2/2 out of the deal. Alright. You gotta keep that pressure on. Clock just doubled. I should be afraid. More Contempt. Okay. So I'll try to ambush this zombie with the fungal infection. Here comes the fungal infection. We make it a 1/1. Then we use our Saproling token to block the zombie. And we'll see if the opponent has an instant speed removal for the Saproling token, and if they think it's worth it. They do. Alright, we're on 6 cards in the graveyard. I may use Cast Down on the zombie. Yeah, I will use Cast Down on the zombie, so the Azcanta flips no matter what our top card is. And we can get to the work of filling our hand with awesome sauce. Library, transform. And from here, it gets ugly, friends. Probably. I shouldn't get cocky. I've been beaten before in these spots. Alright, first, let's get the most information we can before deciding what counterspell to use by using Azcanta. And since we have a disinformation campaign to play next turn, we will use the negate. The sabotage with the surveil can return the campaigns to our hand. Here is Sinister Sabotage. I'll lead with Disinformation Campaign. Draw a card. Opponent, please discard a card. And by please, I mean do it. You have no choice. Alright, let's erase the thoughts, surveil, and return Disinformation Campaign to our hand. Goodbye, Eldest Reborn. Yes, to a Sinister Sabotage on top of the deck. And we will pass turn with Sabotage open and Azcanta. The opponent says no thank you. No more magic for me. Too many things have gone not my way. And our card? Well, a Swift Warden. And we get 50 gold if we win. Well, I would love my 50 gold, and we only have one more creature to kill for our quest. So, a little longer video tonight. My biggest fans likely won't complain, and if you watched this far, it would be nice to hear you put in comments that you stayed until the end. It always warms my heart to know that some people watch every minute. Because the truth is, most people do not. The average watch time of a video of mine on YouTube is a little over 10 minutes, meaning although every video runs 20 minutes or more, there are plenty of people who only watch for the first 3, 4, 5 minutes. Perhaps they watch one game. When the average is around 11, that means plenty of people go to 20 and plenty of people go to, well, less. Victory! I believe that, unfortunately, was the same person. The Doom Dissenter deck. Well, there's my gold. There's a card bonus, but I still want this. I want this 500 gold. I want it now. Same opponent. Oh no. Oh no. Will they play? Dare they play? This hand is not great. Could easily be run over. But we have won! How did they... So they must have hit keep and gone straight to options. Oh man, the hate. Let the hate flow through you. For this, a Crested Herd Caller. Another 50 gold. I could have been grinding out extra 50 golds this whole time if I had played more games. And if we keep getting paired against the same person, well, free gold. Nope, not this time. This hand is a lot like the one we didn't keep last time. The cards are a bit too expensive, and there's definitely no guarantees of drawing the lands. We have removal spells, but our opponent might not be on a deck that cares about this. This is tough to get behind, but yep, if we find a black source, it is better because we have Fungal Infection, Campaign, and Sabotage. Okay, well, I think I had better at least for a few turns see if they have an Adanto Vanguard or a Swift Blade Vindicator is a good target. Let's use our Fungal Infection here and block our Hunted Witness to get rid of the front half. And then we will find a solution for the back half. Off the top, a Thought Erasure for an excellent curve. Tajik, Banneret, Lightning Strike. Everything here gets under the Sinister Sabotage, and the Banneret can deal a lot of damage, so can Tajik. I have to take the Tajik and hope that we find a way to deal with the Banneret. This will clean up the mess. We're going to have to take some damage and find another black source. very, very low to the ground, but at least we get rid of this lightning strike, and if we find a black source, we are cooking. The cast down can kill the banneret at least. Wow. Our opponent doesn't even consider using the challenger, the banneret, to pump another creature. They just run their challenger out. That tilts me. Let's wait until combat. Let's see what happens. Alright. I believe I can stack this so that once the mentor targets, I can kill the thing and it checks the power. But I'm not positive. I think it's best if I kill this banneret and prevent the mentor train from going too far. We're still looking for another black mana. If we find it, we will be okay, but we are on a swift clock that will leave a mark. Did they draw another 1-drop? This deck? It's insane. How fortunate. So I could have killed the Hunted Witness with the cast down. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I think we didn't know that we had a swamp that close. Now I will sit for a minute and decide. Alright, I will go for the Contempt. I'm not going to pay too much more life. Our opponent's shown how aggressive they are. They have Integrity, they have Lightning Strike. We just have to shut this whole thing down. If we trade 1 for 1 from here, we should be safe. A little risky to jam the Immortal Sun when we have a hand with 2 counters, but I think a lot would have to go wrong. Oh my, it just went wrong. And it went right again. Things are fine. I'll play it right now. We could save it, try to play with whatever our opponent draws, but I'm not goofing around. Soot Campaign. A campaign is perfectly fine here. Draw me another card. A Discovery is excellent. Remember that Immortal Sun reduces your casting cost. It's a very big deal. More land is not really needed. I'm sure I'll draw some from all the drawing that we're going to do anyway. And I'll keep getting ahead. I just need 1 counterspell available to deal with whatever my opponent top decks. Swiftblade Vindicator. Essence Scatter is happy to meet you. Trade 1 for 1 indefinitely. The game will be over soon. I'll play 1 campaign. And pass turn from there. The idea to get Dream Eater down and start attacking. Well, Alice, another Aurelia. Okay, resolve. We will Dream Eater and return Aurelia to the hand. This can stay. But with Aurelia returned to the hand, the Disinformation campaign can make Aurelia be discarded, and then we start beating down. Alright, there we go, the 550 in the bag. And now, instead of doing a Crafting Friday, since it's you and me hanging out here, let's pick up some packs as we go. Why be patient? Another Pelt Collector. Is mono green in my future? A chance for glory. Well, first it screws you, then it shows up in your pack. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this supporters video and a little continuation of the free-to-play account. Thank you for watching. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.